Welcome back, OPL fans, to OPL, where we just saw the Chiefs take down Sin in game number 1. We are struggling very hard to speak English today on the desk. It's not just myself.
Here,
it's
Spawn.
Atlas joining me as well.
Oh my goodness.
Fish has never been able to speak
We've rebooted
English.
the brain. We've rebooted the brain, so hopefully we should be okay.
Yeah,
now,
we're back. We're good for game number 2. However, guys, during the week, we asked you to create a GIF of your favorite OPL moment and tweet them at us. Top three contestants would win a Death Bloom Kazik skin. And we have the winners here to announce for you right now. Unfortunately, I can't read the screen, so Atlas is going to do it for me.
Don't worry, I got you. The Guaz has managed to take one at OG1764, if you all wanted to know. Of course, Kieran Hobley managed to pick that one up at the same time. At Hobley92 is going to be his tag if you want to follow him on Twitter. You know, you of course can. Fantastic GIF work. As Joshy's going to pick it up at Joshy_Worth. Congratulations, guys. And we'll contact you to give you your skins as well. So
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Death Blossom. Oh, it's such a good skin, man. That's needed to say it. It's so good.
Certainly is. And guys, if I'll also go find them as well and retweet them just if you want to see the GIFs. Unfortunately, can't show them on the broadcast, but I will go out there and I'll find them and, you know, I'll get them done for you.
That sounded like you were going to walk into the internet and find them, like scouring through the internet somehow.
I wish I could do that. Actually, no, I don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, that
is a weird and
sounds like a
wonderful place.
dangerous
However,
thing.
let's get back to the game on hand. It is going to be Chiefs versus Sin. There's a lot on the line for this game. If Sin lose this, there is a tiebreaker between themselves and Direwolves to sort out 3rd and 4th seed because they will be head-to-head. Tonight, after this game, if the Chiefs lose this, flashbacks to the reverse sweep will be happening, and I will be sweating bullets about growing facial hair. So, what are we looking at out of Sin? I want to look at Sin because I feel like the Chiefs just had a good game plan, came in and executed. What does Sin do to pivot?
Sin needs to prove that they can play another style of League of Legends. That's what they've got to do. Honestly, because what they do, they play this every single time. They get Rymeister really, really fed. He can either split push or jump into the backline and kill someone. But he just flat out could not do that. With the Poppy that big, having the Steadfast Presence, which just stops everything that he wants to do as far as diving is concerned, plus Kindred, plus Azir, all of these things that the Chiefs put together in order to counteract the one game plan that Sin have brought into the last few victories that they've had on Summoner's Rift. So I want to see that Sin can pick up a different style and execute on that instead of what they've done each time.
I agree with Atlas. I think Sin being able to play a different style would be beneficial for them, especially coming into game number 2 here. I, however, would like to see them play that same style. You did mention to me, Spawn, that it's difficult to play this style of League of Legends against a team that is capable of dealing with it. But I would like to see Sin do it because previously when they played this style of League of Legends, where they get Rymeister fed, let him split push into the side lanes and let him delete the carries in the back line, they've executed it a lot better than they did in game 1. And although it's going to be difficult for them to execute it against the Chiefs, I would like to see them clean up that early lane, clean up their strategy and play it.
I love this. One more time. I've got a person saying, you know, fix your weaknesses, get your stuff together, you know, you should be better than this. The other analyst is just like, forget all that stuff, play to your strengths, like, you're completely fine, just execute a little bit bigger. But I want to explore that because is that Sin playing worse or is that the Chiefs now becoming that classy team that we're used to seeing, making people beat them in different ways? What are your thoughts on this?
The thing about the Chiefs is that they've always come into a game planning against their opponent. It's not necessarily about how the Chiefs are going to win this game, although they do definitely do that as well with their own style, but they also carry into the game exactly what they're going to do to take down this specific opponent. And they did that in almost all 5 roles in that game, which is going to make it really difficult for Sin. However, if Sin managed to pick up 9 bans, then they might be able to do it.
Once again, I'm on the fence about things like this, as always, and I think it's a bit of both. I think Chiefs are playing fantastically against this team composition. They know exactly what to do. They're drafting well. They know when to do the right things at the right time on Summoner's Rift. Sin, however, there's some obvious things that they can fix immediately, like their early game, like their level 1 jungle strategy where we saw Rek'Sai had to back off at level 1. These are things that can absolutely be prevented and changed.
Well, we'll see whether they can be because, guys, the players are ready to get into game number 2. So here is Pastry Time and Rusty to take us there.
More importantly, I'm ready for our game number 2 because I think Sin actually had a really good start to that one. This series heating up Rusty. And don't forget, even if Chiefs do win, we have another game to play after this. So plenty of OPL still left to play before playoffs. But I have to echo the desk there. Chiefs just look so overall dominant in the first game.
Yeah, I feel like game 1 absolutely sums up the Chiefs right now. They get Swiffer back and he can miss every single Azir ultimate, but it doesn't matter because everyone else on the Chiefs has shown up and they are ready to play, and they have given it to Sin in game number 1.
They certainly have, and Chief Whiffer, we'll see if he can calibrate those Azir ultis for the next game, but we have started the draft. Blue side now for Chiefs. It was just so good.
I've used that one like half a year ago, so it's great to have him back, Chief Whiffer. Oh. We missed you.
Well, red side for Sin here in this one, as Gangplank will be the first ban there for Chiefs. One more time, Callista once again will be banned away. So early bans looking standard so far. Interested to see if the teams change tax at all, because I think it was sort of identified there. Poppy just seems like such an obvious champion to take away, as Braum going to be banned too there for Chiefs.
Yeah, honestly, Poppy was one of the direct counters, I will say, to the Rymeister composition, the Diana essentially composition. I feel like Sin don't need to change their strategy. Sin's strategy works for them. They need to address what was used against them in Game 1 to stop that from happening again.
Yeah, I think so as well, as Nidalee is going to be banned there as well. Chiefs now considering then last ban, excuse me. As we'll see if they do change tactics at all. Don't actually. It's Gragas once again that's going to be banned away. So same 3 bans if memory serves there for the Chiefs. Sin, we'll see if they stick to it, and they do. Lulu's banned once again. This is interesting to me. We saw both teams effectively play more standard bans, just ban strong champions. People almost always ban specific things away from Sin. Chief said, you have the champions you want. You can have the team comp if you want the Wombo. And they managed to beat it. Now they pick up Poppy for their first pick. Feels like things are going well for the Chiefs.
They've got Poppy again. It's like the one thing I didn't want them to get. I mean, it's actually... Spawn was very vocal about it in the break. He's like, I can't believe it's so broken. It's so good. Honestly, the W stops Diana as a champion when it comes to team fighting. The Azir also did that. And I mean, while Sin's drafting was great, it means they can't go Diana now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they change tax to something like the Yasuo, but Sivir Trundle are their first pick, so deny the Trundle away from Egypt is good against those tanks that we saw even from the support position, so I like what's happening here. Spook's also, I think, having fun with his top laner. Gonna have a Kayle there, at least for the jungle position.
We'll also say, though, clever strategy from Chiefs in particular with their drafting in Game 1, going for Trundle and Poppy in the first draft, taking those away from Chippies as well as the Gangplank ban, was actually pretty big.
Yep, smart stuff in general on the red side, but Chiefs on blue only got 1 pick, so now they'll have to pick 2 and 3 with Trundle already taken off the board. Thought he was going to. Swiffer having a bit more fun. That's actually a real champion from Spooks. We've seen Radier play it once already, but be interested to see if that's what they want into Sivir particular. Played Jhin last game. Plenty of options here for the Chiefs. Might just go back to what they know, though. No Trundle for Ejim. He'll go to Alistar. Radier will go back to Jhin, and everything seems right with the world.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a Yasuo combo anytime soon. Of course, the wind wall is the counter to Ashe, so you might want to get one with the other. Unlikely, Jhin and Alistar picked up together. There's a funny laning duo between those two, I will say. The fact that Alistar is engaged, and he's like a one-and-done type of thing. Hit the headbutt, pulverize, and hope someone can burst after you. Jhin not necessarily known for that high burst, but the way the combo can work is headbutt into the wall, hit the deadly flourish, pulverize. You can actually have quite an extended combo of crowd control, lock them down, and hit them with repeated auto attacks.
Yeah, most of the Jhin lanes seem to be if any lane where you can hit all 4 autos in a trade, which makes a lot of sense, right? You don't only get so many bullets, you want to make sure you hit them all.
There are also trade patterns where you only hit 2 of the autos and then you weave the spells in between it. So other champions such as perhaps the Janna, where you just get an auto attack and actually hit the W off it. There's other meritable, usable
for sure.
champions there.
Seen this a lot though into Jhin. I like this pick a lot from Rogue. Bard is actually going to be their support. Jungle is Elise, as Sin take that for themselves. Jungle's still up actually for Spook, so can go back to Kindred if he fancies the matchup. Might want to mix it up, but the Chiefs seem to be sticking to what they know here, at least in their initial picks. And understandably, Sin are going to give Rymeister last pick. The only notable thing for me is that they haven't built a Yasuo comp yet, so I don't think that's what Rymeister will be playing.
Yasuo's always got his place,
yeah,
I
look,
will say.
You can just play him.
I think Poppy is probably the bigger issue for Yasuo, can actually completely lock him down.
I'm noticing a trend.
Poppy kind of a big deal.
Poppy shutting down carries.
I feel like, yeah, who'd have thought, right? Yeah, no, Poppy's quite scary. Zed actually would be a decent pick into the Jhin as well. Take him out, put in some work. I think it depends basically on what this part of the draft is.
I love it. Sejuani and Azir. So if we're going to go back to Azir, which seems just fine, especially as a blind pick, but we've started to see a bit more of this Sejuani there for Spooks.
Absolutely. Sejuani's definitely risen in popularity. Got that hard engage option. Jungle clearing, still definitely good, as we are on the patch where she got an auto attack reset, I believe. So can more effectively clear with an auto attack reset through big camps, things like that. I think Sejuani all around just a lot better now in the jungle.
Seems like Runekeko is helping her out also. So lots of good things in general for the AP jungle. It's nice to see Sejuani.
It's like Gragas, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Gragas got a buff to the W, gave him AoE on clear, and everyone's like,
Runic
oh, big deal. But there was already a Runic
Yep.
Echoes that made it better. Now it's just quality of life and better.
Yep. And again, sticking more on the Gragas side than the Kindred, I suppose. Lots of good car control that you mentioned. Plenty of options. Spooks was quite gank heavy in the first game on Kindred. I think took advantage of some opportune timings in the lanes. So if he brute forces more this time, because it is really 2 ganking junglers this time around, as Rymeister goes Kassadin as his last pick. Into the Azir seems just fine, but again, another big split push style carry where Ryze is going to want to get big, preferably do well early, and carry the team.
Yeah, the Kassadin, it's not bad in laning phase. You're against someone that seems to be religiously going cleanse as well, against what is going to be Juves this time, not necessarily the Kassadin. So the way I see this laning phase is Swiffer wins till further notice, but there's always an opportunity for Rymeister to get back in it. Scales wants to split push a bit as well, so it's still a Rymeister champion, still a Sin composition almost entirely. Poppy doesn't stop it with the W. There's magic damage everywhere.
We solved it.
Things are going better for this draft.
They're like, what's the Diana that goes through Poppy W? Like Kassadin found it. Found the
Kassadin or
counter.
Zed.
Got the teleports as well. So Sin going to play around those double TPs once more. Probably a notable change for Chippy's actually. Still a tanky champion, but it's not a pure tank like Rammus. It's Trundle, which can be a threat into the late game as well.
Yeah, Trundle much more successful at dealing with Poppy as well, so they'll be able to run a 1-3-1. Siva's got the wave clear, Bard's got control of lanes as well, and Juves is going to be relevant throughout every single lane wherever he would choose to go. I think Sin's composition does still make a lot of sense this time around, so a solid draft. But how do you look past the Chiefs draft again?
Yeah, again, it's not like they've drafted badly on the other side. So there are your team comps once again for game number 2. Don't forget your hashtag out there if you're cheering on your team in the Twitterverse. Use the hashtag CHF win for the Chiefs or hashtag Sin win for Sin, which again still remains the best hashtag in the OPL, apart from hashtag IamOPL, which you should always be using when tweeting about the league.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for everyone that told me what they have for breakfast. Keep it going.
Yeah, that was interesting. Thank you very much for that one, Pastry. I love being a part of what people had for cereal for no particular reason. You know what? Just tweet at Spawnall as well.
There we go. He absolutely wants to know what you had for breakfast.
He's a big fan.
As we are going to get ourselves onto the rip for game number 2. Chiefs going to move out from the blue side this time. We'll have a check-in with the old Keystone Masteries. Nothing particularly surprising, though. As Chiefs, 5-man strong, might be looking for something sneaky. Predicting Sin to group up, and they have. Egypt's like, I've spotted them, guys. What a great bait this is.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Could
boy.
be fireworks. There's the pole. Moves in. The Chiefs are going to go in for the kill. Rogue gets low, but he does not fall. Egypt, no follow-up, but the exhaust is down. That could be enough to try and kill somebody. But a nice pillar there will disengage.
That was close, but Chiefs level 1 isn't all that great.
Nope.
That is 2 summoners burnt from Egypt in response to 2 summoners across the board from Sin. Unfortunately, Ignite's still there for Rogue, so level 1 pressure available in the duo lane. And I would not be surprised if Chiefs or Sin, one of them, make the decision to lane swap, given the summoner's burnt.
Well, right now, Trundle heading top for Sin as Radiant hasn't quite decided where he wants to go yet. Owlstar, though, certainly has. So it looks like your prediction may be correct. Lane swap is now going to be in place for Chiefs, and Sin, they pretty much have to guess at this point if they wanted to swap. Chippies, though, is going to end up in a 1v2.
Yeah.
So we'll probably start with some double jungling.
Sin actually should have predicted the swap. I think plain and simple, if an Alistar has no summoners, Bard already wins at level 1. We saw it yesterday when AV played, how overwhelming and oppressive a Bard can be. But they don't predict the lane swap. They're content taking the 1v2. It's still a Sivir Bard after all. Turrets go down quite quickly. We'll see how they react, though, once they are aware, which is now.
Yep. So you can see the red pings there in top lane. Do now know what's going on. Swiffer and Rymeister trading blows, but Swiffer definitely winning early on with the auto attacks from those soldiers. Rymeister just going to have to grit and bear it for a little while. We'll try to get Corrupting Potion charge just to try and stay safe as Egypt. He's found himself 2 people and a red buff. Good pillar. Very good pillar, actually.
Yeah.
That would have been awfully close otherwise. As Egypt's just going to chase them out. Oh, take something. Yeah. 20 gold.
That's 40. Making bank.
Oh.
Still pushes them out of the red side jungle, but most importantly, they got the red buff with it. So they take away a big camp, as they are essentially referred to as, away from Chiefs during the standard lane swaps. You can see, though, Spooks isn't going for his red buff just yet. He's doing a full clear, and there's an opportunity for Sin to invade.
There is. Spooks working on those Raptors. Not going to burn his smite just yet. Probably
they'll get
saving
greedy.
that for his red. Yeah, looks like they are just going to take their jungle instead.
Actually quite fascinating, because usually you would see the Scuttle Crab taken by Spooks right now, right? He wants to work topside. He actually wants to take that jungle. It's expected that Sin are going to invade. There's always the opportunity that the Scuttle Crab becomes a lot more tempting. Juice is about to work this out, and Spooks has actually just wasted a lot of time if he doesn't get the red.
He's only level 2. This is very
half
unsafe.
health.
He's got his smite, but it's actually going to be a battle for it. Smite goes down. Spooks does get it. A crucial summoner used there to try and secure that camp, but Spooks chased out of his bottom side now.
He's actually quite lucky that worked out for him. Ran the risk against the Smite Elise as well, who has that execute to take it down. Thankfully, the man gets level 3. That is a lot of knowledge, though, gained by Sin. Unfortunately, they are super slow at taking down this turret.
Yeah, quite enough damage there. They're
not
going to
gonna
get
go
it.
down this
Oh,
wave.
no. You're right. There's only one creep left. Chiefs pushing through as well. I'm not sure if they read the lane swap this well, but this is really good for the Chiefs.
This is absolutely amazing for the Chiefs. The fact that Spooks got a greedy start, the fact that the rest of the Chiefs were there early and they're pressuring it down, as you guys need to, there's no minion. Hey, calm down. They will be able to at least reset this. Sin will still make it. I don't think they'll lose the turret top, though.
No, they should be okay. But damage is damage. They'll take it. Oh, Juve's actually getting sneaky. Hello. Finds Radiant. Still not quite enough under the tower. They're going to move back in onto the Elise. Deadly Fire is down. Actually, a lot of damage, but a good repel might keep them safe. Rest of Sin do arrive. Egypt going to try and combo them in. Juve's so low. Swiper wants it. He will get it. First blood and doubles. The Spooks is here as well.
It's cute, Jubes, but it's not enough. He's actually hurting his team. It's really, I just don't know what his plan was with that. Like, he did a lot of damage, sure, but Jin still has his summoners available. They've got numbers nearby.
Yeah, this is actually not safe for Rogue either. Gets comboed up. Deadly Fire is going to move it all in, and that's an easy kill for the Chiefs, who are now going to get a second turret.
Yeah, they're just brute forcing these turrets down.
Radiant.
Cardred needs to run away.
Big crit in the back of the face.
Jubes is back for some more.
Oh,
Turret's still there.
Turret's actually safe because they prioritize the kills, but lots of creeps denied there. You can see only 9 CS there for poor Chippies. Sorry, for poor Swiper. Never mind, Chippy's on a roll.
Yeah, Chippies is getting a frozen, a free lane essentially.
Mixed.
Swiper has been spending a lot more time killing champions. Still got one of the kills, so is effectively, even if not ahead. Spooks once again. You're a greedy man.
He really is. Level 3 Sejuani, staying in the enemy jungle on the unsafe side. But he gets what he wants there as the wave does get pushed in by Chippies. Eventually, a Swiper with a Balmy Cinder, a fresh blue by the looks of things. He's going to go ahead and deal with that. Meanwhile, in mid lane, though, since we've had so many people topside.
So, Rymeister in this middle lane has got 3 levels into his Force Pulse. None of them into the Q, which is interesting against what is a primary magic damage dealing champion in Azir. Now, most Cassidans will put 1 or 2 levels in to the Q, maybe 3 levels, depending on how the lane's going and how many they need, because he's obviously better. Lower cooldown, more damage as such, but he's actually forcing himself out of this lane by putting only 1 in it. Look at his health value.
Yeah, and again, just going to get chunked once more. So soldiers go up. Level 6 now for Rai, but just eats harass at every turn. Negatron Cloak especially for Swiffer. With the barrier, by the way, did swap from Cleanse.
Yeah.
Should keep him nice and safe. As we are just going to continue the pushes here. Looks like neither team wants to really do any laning. As we are just going to have more turrets being pushed down. The Chiefs, though, definitely got the better end of the first little lane swap. We'll see what happens here after these outer turrets go down in top and bot for Sin and Chiefs, respectively.
I will say, for what it's worth, about the Rymeister point I made, he's farming well. He's managed to keep up even and will definitely still scale. So, all things considered, those 2 kills give them a small gold lead, but honestly, the turret trading is still the same, if not better for Sin, because of how effectively they took that outer. Swiper's been left alone because the rest of the Chiefs need to respond. Chippies has an opportunity to teleport, actually, and try and defend it. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, continuing to push right now, so
He's just about to see them, though.
yeah, does see them. Spooks level 4. He's going to zone them off as Radiant collects what
He's
CS he
stopping
can.
teleports by walking near them.
Smart play there. Rift Herald being done by Sin. As turret does go down to the bottom side there for Swiper, so a K up now for Chiefs. Pretty much just that turret indifference. With, I guess, some extra gold on top from the 2 kills they have also. Rift Herald does go over to
There you
Juice.
go.
Bard's like, I don't want it, you have it. And the magical journey back to their side of the map as Swiffer gets himself a blue buff.
Yeah, so Jungler gets the first Rift Herald, which makes a lot of sense. Gets back to lanes quicker. And everything kind of slows down now with all of the outer turrets taken. The question always arises, Sin, they are a good macro team. They always make good decisions around the map. Just comes down to their execution, but the decisions are right. Whereas the Chiefs could be considered a little bit more volatile with their map movements and decision making. Sin are potentially able to exploit that fact and force some movements around.
Well, very open map like you mentioned, so we'll have to see as teams seem to be converging on the Dragon. Mid lane though is the only lane where nothing much has really happened.
Which is perfect.
Yep, absolutely makes sense. Both scaling up, so I'm sure they're both happy with the situation they're currently in. Scott, they're going to go over to Spooks though, as he takes that one away. And looks like the Chiefs are actually going to move some people mid. Well, they're leaving Radiant to take these creeps in the bottom side and putting Swiper in top lane. So we're sort of resetting into standard lanes. They're just very long standard lanes.
Yeah, they're long, they're risky. There's ward-based standard lanes where if you don't have vision, you can't be there. And as you will see, Chiefs no doubt will clear this wave and then probably get the heck out of there because they don't have deep enough vision in the tri-bush, I believe, to spot Sin.
And there's Sinduo now going to answer that wave that's been pushed back as the Chiefs do descend on top of the Dragon. Pretty good time for it. I can at least see 2 people as the Chiefs are going to collapse a unit onto this one. Swiper still top side, but available if needed with the teleport. And the Chiefs take a very easy first objective.
Yeah. Crisp movements around the map, I will say, for Chiefs this time around. That Dragon, very much free, as it was pretty much Swiffer's calling, I will say, on starting that Dragon up. Rotates early. Rymeister unable to answer. They pick up a nice early objective once again. Trading, I guess, with the Rift Herald, just a bit delayed in that respect. Honestly, waiting for item spikes now, I will say, across the board. Rod of Ages for Kassadin, Abyssal Scepter, which I would imagine is, I'm going to say 200 gold off for Swiffer as he went for boots with it.
I love when you do this, because you're almost always right. A sweet CS prediction.
All right, we'll bring up the gold values. Here we go.
All right, let's see. We did it.
Yeah, nice. You got it.
Nice.
Bit extra for some wards.
Oh, see? I see.
It's actually like, okay, so rule number 1
Okay.
of playing League of Legends, you don't get enough money for your item. You get enough money for your item and a ward.
Yep.
Otherwise, you've made a mistake. Or
Boy
you've been
Scout,
forced back.
Boy Scout Roller League. Always buy a ward.
Yeah.
I like it.
Rule number
Never
1.
leave home.
Always bring your towel.
Ejim and Radiant back in that bottom side. Again, just shoving out the wave. Although this is a change here for Sin. Rymeister actually collecting some of that CS in bottom now. So very early transition. This is common for Sin, but doing it a bit earlier than normal. No Rod just yet here for Rye, but we'll be happy to take the Solar Farm and XP as it comes towards him. But that means a lot of people want to go mid right now.
Yeah, it's the... I'm going to say it is almost a Sin standard, but it is also a teleport mid lane standard strategy, especially in lane swaps, where you get the major objectives that are the turrets, and then you put your AD carry support mid lane. So Rogue, in this case, can very easily rotate around the map, and that your teleport mid laner can also rotate as well and join the fights if they were to break out. Just kind of unlocks your lanes, even though they are long lanes, to be much more effective.
And you can see the difference here is that Chiefs have to keep their mid laner mid. Azir can't really feel safe walking into side lanes by himself. Swiper probably can, as Swiffer does hit a nice binding. Spooks, though, maybe going to turn it around. Going to force the flash out of Rogue and chunk out Cardred there as well. Only a BF Sword there for Siva is pretty vulnerable to the Abyssal Scepter Azir. Going to have to be careful as Juve completely destroys that Scuttle
the first
Crab.
time the Scuttle's been taken, because Spooks and Juice both avoided it at level 1. Actually just destroyed it. I think Rogue as well with the flash was not necessary, but he reactively flashed to the amount of damage that Spooks did. Genuinely surprised him, because Runic Echoes is available for this jungler. He is what we would define as online.
Yep, both junglers actually looking good. And Swiffer just going to move back into this turret, see what he can get done. Rai actually eating some good damage there from Jin. Deadly Forest lands. Follow up though, don't want to go too all in. But Raider and Ejim feel comfortable with 3 very nice little triangle of pink wards.
And that's the actual problem right here for Sin. Rotating like this is fine, but Rogue has to stay mid at all times. Cardred feels very pressured by Swiffer in a one-on-one. And by sending Kassadin as your champion to the bottom lane, it's not as effective as something like a Diana. Your wave clear's risky, your melee as well, with nothing to keep you alive. Diana's got a genuine shield, not just a magic damage shield. Risky stuff, because they could start losing objectives from that.
And you can see Rogue sort of flitting between the lanes, trying to decide what he wants to do.
Which means Juves needs to be down there as well. That's the real issues. Look at what they're losing. It's a teleport.
Yeah, right TP'd, but nowhere near for a flank.
What?
Got back faster, I guess. That's actually going to give mid tower over to the Chiefs. Sin getting the runaround, honestly.
Yeah,
in this particular game. Chiefs come out help for the first turret of the lane swap, 3-2 now.
The cat and mouse commenced, and Chiefs came out on top with it. As the balance is starting to tip in their favor, even more so. Up 1 turret, up 2 kills, and a fair chunk of gold as they start up the Herald.
About to take their own Herald this time. Sin got the first one, so we'll equal on this objective. If everyone's keeping score at home. Dragon up in a minute 55 though.
What's going to reset? Oh, I can so like.
I wonder what happens like when he, there we go, that's what I was looking for. The eye crit. That must hurt so much for poor Herald.
Yeah,
Got
1,000
crit
true
straight in the
damage
eye.
and the crit. And it hurts, big eye. I don't really want bullets in anyone's eyes, but you know. Harold is a people too.
Yes, sure.
Save Harold, man.
Hashtag save Herald. Well, not save this time. Given over to the Chiefs. Will happily take his buff. Swift been out here a while. He's going to hit the blue button. Go back and spend some money.
Have his booties.
Not going to get you to
Some
guess
attack
this
speed.
time. Oh, all right. He did. Oh, look at him.
Yeah. Nash's Tooth. Needed the Abyssal Scepter first. Cassidy maxing that E as well. Was actually trying to wave clear and pressure him in lane, so smart item buy. An adaptive item buy from Swiffer as his damage with the attack speed is now amplified.
And there's Finch Codex actually, so waited a little while longer. Didn't go for the boots, you thought.
Damn.
But does effectively get about an upgrade's worth as far as gold
Yeah.
value goes. So you got that part right.
Nailed it.
It's like really like you almost play mid lane at a high level. I'm not sure.
Never.
It's just one of those things.
Didn't play in any of the teams in the OPL.
Yep, never seen that. There's Infinity Edge also there for Radiant. And Essence River not quite for Cardra. Might have the money for it. I'm not a wizard like Rusty, so I can't tell you just off the bat. But
Play Freebie.
Radiant certainly looking good there as far as first items go. It's Chippies and Swiper duking it out in the top lane. Titanic already done there for the Trundle, but looks like no one's really interested in doing anything too crazy. And that's sort of the theme of this game, which is very common in these sort of lane swaps.
Yeah.
Game nice and slow. This will be a methodical Chiefs game if we ever see one. And for Sin, who do play well around that map, should also suit their style as well.
Yeah, definitely will. As we move towards that mid game, I would imagine Sin's starting to feel a lot more confident. In particular, Chippies has his Titanic Hydra. Swiper's going to have a pretty bad time, I think, to say the least now in this one-on-one matchup. And you can see how aggressively he's now stancing himself. Chippies. On the flip side, though, Chiefs recognizing where their power points are on the opposite side of the map, starting to threaten the Cassidy, which is why Rogue is here. Juves is the actual issue right now. The second they spot Juves, they can engage.
Well, you can see Juice's top side, so looking for a gank there onto Swiper. Possible with a Trundle.
But why?
I don't know.
Again, that's the question. They gave over the Rift Herald about 2 minutes ago. He rotates towards topside without it available, and as such gives over the second dragon for Wolves. And to have a spirit of one of them.
Very clean objective there from the Chiefs. They'll take dragon number 2. Chiefs does get that counter jungle down. He's going to stick top lane here. I think he's trying something on from Swiper, but Swiper is not taking the bait, as juicy as it may be.
Because he can't even 1v1 Chippies. There's no bait to take. It's not like a wild wandering Cardra just happens to be in the top lane.
Oh, Swiffer Hollow gets stunned though. Pushes him out with the ulti. Chippies here as well. That's going to force the flush and the barrier. Rhymaster wants to keep chasing though. He's taking a lot of damage from the tower, but he'll dive in for it. Chippies, he's able to get the kill, and Rhymaster lives as well.
Rymeister hits that level 11 mark also as Rogue just says, you guys are safe. Turns alley gold randomly. Sin, they get an easy dive onto Swiffer. Effective play, but aggressive, and that was actually Rymeister shot calling that one, saying we can absolutely do this. The team follow him up well. Chippy is now even bigger, which is a worry.
Certainly is. As he pushes another wave into the turret and gets some decent damage onto the tier 2. Again, it was going to be a more patient game here, given the lane swap we started with, but Sin, despite being behind, have a very nice play there. And Cassidy getting rolling is always scary.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much true of any Rymeister champion.
Cassidy, of course, gets going with items and levels. Needs that 11 and 16 mark so that he can start pressing arm more often. Naturally. Has actually just ticked that one over after the kill on Swiffer. And Sin being a momentum-based team would feel very confident now, or at least Rymeister will be feeling good.
And if your shot call in mid lane is feeling good, it's usually a good time for the team. And Swiffer is going to clear these out.
Just as one of the more peculiar things, both of these teams have a shot calling mid laner with loud talking junglers and supports, you would imagine, but mid laners are the executives, I think.
I believe so.
At least for Chiefs.
That is definitely true.
I know Rymeister does like his shot calling there.
been very lucky to have a lot of chats with Rymeister. That man is very smart when it comes to League.
Chiefs are Jesus. 5 pink wards.
Oh, hello. Juves though. Maybe caught. No, it's the other way around. Cardra going to pop the ulti. Rye collapses in as well. They're going to look themselves for a kill, but a nice Edge-1 ulti into the Azero. Everybody's face planting onto the bouncy castle.
Rymeister's now trouble.
And now Rye's locked up by Swiper. He's going to get chased out. The last order's there for Swiffer. Will take him out. Cardra gets blown up by Jin as Ejim sweeps in for the kill. 2-0 there for that one in Chiefs. Very nicely played.
The second that they got cancelled following the Azir ultimate, the second Sedge and Azir used their ults at the same time, probably want to back away from that one if you don't have vision of the rest of the Chiefs roster, who find themselves with 2 picks.
Maybe
and they're
3.
still going.
Onto Juves. W up there for Poppy. Nice ulti there from Bud. Actually going to get them out. Repel gets Juves out to safety. Swiper forced to flash out of the danger, but another tower's going to go over as well. Juves is way too low to be there and has to flush himself out. Swiffer almost got himself a very lucky 3rd kill.
Yeah, Swiffer's doing a lot of damage at the moment for the Chiefs. Swiper being the point of focus solely because he is hard diving and directing a lot of attention from these guys. Very easy for Sin to try and look towards him, but he's not the one you want to hit.
Oh, he's not.
You want to kill the Azir.
You do. He's got Nash's now as well. Didn't have it in the last engage. So damage is only going up for the mid laner, as Chippies has found Radiant as a level up. Radiant's like, don't really like this. Rymeister's here as well. Instant flash out, but the pillar's there. Radiant can't really do too much. Rymeister's going to take him out as Chippies gets credit for the kill.
Yeah, Chippy's picking up that second kill. Working together, these two. Only one of them having teleport. You would imagine gives Chiefs some time to work around the map, but they actually were stuck in base recalling. So easy stuff here from Sin, picking up a cheeky kill on the side.
Oh. Very nice stuff there from Rymeister. That's sort of what we expect from the Kassadin. Jin has to be very careful where he stands. Chippies and Juves eat some poke. Spook's going to eat some on the backline, but Juves a little too aggressive again. Repels out, but he actually goes back down, and Swiffer just takes him out.
There was a minion next to him that he could have went to, but doesn't opt into it. Not sold again. Juves. Hyphy is the best way to describe him right now. Yes, you're Elise. Yes, you've got a lot of damage. There's a time and a place for everything. And that was not the time for you to go next to a Sejuani who just presses Q and halves your health and evens out the trade. Not a good call.
Got an ulti out of it, I guess.
But he lost his life.
Yeah, Sedge actually did burn the ulti for the kill, but I agree with you. Perhaps not worth. And Swiper still continuing to shove out the bottom lane. Iceborne Gauntlet done for Chippies though.
Oh, wow.
And this is the Baron call. Very aggressive from Chiefs.
Sinner nearby, or at least Rogue is. We'll see how he reacts, because this is going down hyper speeds.
Oh, yep. No, they're scrying off. Smart move.
Good
ulti. Here we go. Jungler's not in position, but that's going to cause Chiefs to move off. Spooks actually wants to stay for it. They're going to go in for it. Who's going to get it? It will be the Chiefs. Juve's not there, just barely not able to make it in time. But Rye going to chase them down. Here's Curtain Call. They're going to try and slow them off. There's one onto Spook. Swiffer. He's going to move back in and see what distance he can create, but Rymeister gets the double.
Sin get 2 kills. 2 of them decide that they want to go on a magical journey to the top lane, but the Chiefs still pick up that Baron and a lot of gold in their back pockets. This is still the start of something here for Sin. The amount of damage that they're doing, how big their top laner is, are points that need to be addressed by the Chiefs. But for the moment, after this push, and they come back with the Baron buff, control is still in Chiefs' ballpark.
This is actually a good turret for them to take as well. This is going to cut the gold lead pretty significantly. Chiefs only 3k up now, but Cardra, busy top lane, does push that out. Dragon up as well, so Sin, well, for the second game in a row, take the 3rd Dragon of the game, denying Chiefs their 3rd.
Hey, excuse me for a second.
That's, yeah.
There you got me. First Dragon, yeah, 22 minutes. It's not too bad. Of course, the scaling Dragon is the first one, so it doesn't matter when you take it, as long as you're denying Chiefs as many of them as you can, given how the lane swap progressed. And they were picking up that advantage. Moving into the later stages of this game as well for Sin, you'd actually be quite comfortable. Almost 2 items is the big deal for me.
Again, it's just a comp that they're very comfy on. I mean,
teleport,
both comps definitely do some scaling, but yeah, TP could be the difference. Chiefs, though, with the Baron buff, going to work on pressuring multiple lanes. Swipe it down bottom now, dealing with the mess Rymeister made. And this tower nice and low. Could be a couple shots here for Radiant. Rapid fire cannon going to help out, and that's dead. One turret there for the Chiefs. Goldie going to start to grow back in their favor.
Simple turret executed on hit. Just the pressure that Spooks has.
It's a stun turret.
Is a very big
Whoa!
deal. Yeah, as the Sun turret falls down, engages.
Yeah, Ejim actually going straight for it.
Wow.
Kartra blowing up after the Sedge ult. Rogue also getting low, but the Bard ulti is maybe going to keep him alive. Very rarely, as Spooks is able to get himself out. Swiper taking too much damage. But Kartra just got absolutely wrecked.
He just got obliterated. The amount of damage that Chiefs are doing is obnoxious right now to the back line of Sin. Spooks combos together with Ejim, going in with no hesitation. Still got that Baron buff.
Yeah, here's Swiper, going to try and kick a few people out. Doesn't quite find them. Looks to zone. Ejim goes back in under the turret, though. Turret's going to fall. Now Chief's going to descend straight into the Sin lineup. Juice goes a little too far forward. Radier's going to take him out. Chippies is going to die to a double kill there from Radier. And now Ryan Rogue going to try and do what they can, but the Chiefs have broken topside. This inhib will fall. As Kardra's back, but it's not enough to stop the onslaught.
They still might die.
Goodbye. Eats a crit.
So that's at least one. And it is a cast.
Yeah,
oh my god, there we go.
There's a double. Chiefs actually going to get this turned around on Rymeister, still chasing. Slow down there onto Swiper. Hits a ward for that auto. Really wanted to hit a champion, but he's going to be able to keep chasing. He's a Cassidon after all. Swiper going to lock him down. Spook's going to try and turn things over. He's going to get it. Deadly Flourish locks him out, but that's going to be a kill for the Bard on the back end. Sin still chasing. Swiper eats the boomerang.
There we are.
But that slow trap should end it.
And it shows. Does. The amount of damage that the Chiefs are doing is great.
Oh my god, Radio.
Here we go.
Bullet missed. Yep.
No.
He gives it. Doesn't even fire the last one.
You're not worthy of a missed crit, to say the least. So Chiefs, they get an inhibitor. They have a lot of control of this map, and they're still 5k in the lead, but Sin are doing damage. Sin are doing a lot of damage. Their chasing as a team is ridiculous between Cassidon, between Siva, and Trundle to an extent. Bard also very useful. I feel like there's opportunities for Sin. They're not out of the game just yet is the best way to describe this.
No, not at all. Chiefs did some damage with the Baron, actually pretty significant damage. Taking that inhibitor down in top lane, but certainly some work to do here still for the Chiefs. And the comp only gets better here for Sin. Gold lead, I think, in touching distance more than anything else. But the Chiefs have to clean up some of their dives perhaps, because they just went a little too deep on a comp that, like you said, is very good at chasing them down.
They just overstayed for the inhibitor, which is fair because they took the inhibitor down, right? But you know what? He's out of mana. He'll actually die.
Really annoying. Raid's doing a lot of damage. Crits, not enough. He's going to flash for it. He's going to get the kill. Solo's out in the mid lane, and Raid is not done. Spook's actually going to start things off with the ulti. Bard ulti going to keep Spook safe, though. And now Juice looking to dive back in. Tower low. Deadly Forest does not connect for a snare, though. And the Chief's going to take this tower.
That's just inexcusable from Rymeister. He ran himself out of mana on minions and tried to walk away to safety without his flash there. Chiefs now have so much control of this map. Granted, Sejuani, no ultimate. But they're banking on Ejim.
Oh, very nice. Pulverized Kartra gets obliterated as Radier takes him out. And the Chief's going to take another turret. Swiper ties everybody off in the back lines. And that's inhibitor number 2 now for the Chiefs.
Kardric not on point with the spell shields. Not able to block the right targets. 2 inhibitors down. Chiefs are just completely blowing this game out of the waters. Rymeister thankfully back.
Maybe make it 3 as Chiefs are not done with their siege. Kardric dead for 20 seconds. Then there's again Ejim once again for a tower. Pops his ulti this time. Good ult there from Swiffer. Gets Rogue into the team. And the Curtain Call is going to try and shut down Rymeister. Bullet hits onto Juice. Bullet snipes one in the back line. There's another. Poppy ulti. Crit Bullet's going to land down. He's not in range actually, so Juice gets out. But Jimmy's taking too much damage. Base broken absolutely everywhere. And the Chiefs might be able to close this one out. Kardra's back now. Pops the ulti to try and deter them. But the Chiefs, they will not be stopped.
There's nothing that can stop this Chiefs roster. Raider is stepping up his game in number 2 on this gen. Spooks once again has been a stellar performer. And Swiffer's no longer whiffing.
Spooks did just miss that ulti though. As Swiper also going to get taken out. Chiefs getting a little too much.
No way.
But they are going to try and take it. Swiper going to sacrifice his life to maybe end the game. Nexus turret's dead. And now Juice caught up to the other side.
They can't end.
No, they can't. Very dangerous. There's the kill into Ejim. Spooks out of mana. Radio. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that missed, but it doesn't matter as he does go down. Gets the last laugh of the bullet though. And Spooks is somehow still alive. I don't know what he thinks he's going to do. Does get stunned into the wall. Rymeister doesn't go for it, but Jimmies gets the ace.
Do a little dance in the base, Spooks. It's entirely broken. And look at the pings from the Chiefs. They are so confused why this game isn't over. And let the PvE begin.
Yep, this is tough.
Here come the super minions.
The 3 waves of supers.
Sin's only option right now is a desperate Baron with Chippy's defending.
Caster's going for it.
But if the minions die and Chippy's hasn't killed one of the lanes quick enough, they'll actually just win the game with Chippy's desperately trying to defend it.
And Sin are looking for a pick instead, I think. Prime Master goes over. Oh, he's found Swiper. Not who he really wants to party with. Swiper doesn't mind, though. Oh, the rest of Sin are here. 3v2, 4v2 actually, as Chippy's is here as well.
No, the game's over.
Though. Oh, no. He's trying to defend off for the minions. Sin couldn't even try and start up the Baron. A Swiper is going to get caught, but Cardred's busy fighting so many supers. And I'm not sure he's going to fight them all off. He's doing one hell of a job trying. Radiant takes out right on the backside, though. Curtain Call is going to go down as he's trying to stop those recalls.
The minions are about to win the game, Pastry Time. And kill
Cardred.
Cardred.
No! They're just too strong. The minions, they will win it for the Chiefs. The ace comes down for the Chiefs. Strong macro play will survive. Interesting way to end that game. But I think everything up until that point looked really strong again for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs once again, they showed up all 5 members this time around in game number 2. Spooks, stellar performance once more. Swiper did his job again. Stop giving him Poppy is the only thing I can really say about that. What a performance in game 2 from the Chiefs. And the Minions MVP this time.
My
Give
God.
them a pizza.
What an ending. Minions for pizza. Who knows? We'll let the analyst desk maybe sort that one out.
Thank you so much, guys. And the Chiefs are able to take it 2-0 over Sin. We'll talk about what that means for Sin shortly, but what it means for the Chiefs right now is that they are officially the 2nd seed and will dodge Legacy as well as have side advantage in their semi-final. That was a well-executed game plan out of the Chiefs. You felt this time around it was much more of a wombo combo team fight comp. You know, a lot of protection through aggression for Radiant this time, and they executed it well.
Yeah, and this is another explanation of the fact that the Chiefs have so many different carries on their roster. I mean, we mentioned it before, but Swiper, he was behind against Chippy's this game. Didn't matter, was still able to facilitate, still able to do his job, wasn't the one that the Chiefs were leaning on. However, they can then move over. Radiant able to pick up the reins fantastically. Swiffer having a bit of a better game there as well. And having Spooks, well, of course, not necessarily whiffing as much as we may have seen the grin out of Spawn as we mentioned that. So having a better game. And Spooks as well, and this is Ronnie picking that one up. It's like he's riding a bike, straight back on.
And straight back on Bristle.
And you mentioned the man that stood out to me as well, Rady. He was an absolute beast in that game. He was doing well in lane. His Jhin looks fantastic. Even got a solo kill onto Rhymeister. When the AD carry is killing your main carry on the side of Sin, things are just not looking good.
Yeah, so a little bit of, I think, execution from Sin because they played very Sin-style League of Legends. They were still very decisive. The team fights they thought they could win, they chased very successfully. But it was kind of the early game that went awry for them, I think, one more time.
Yeah, and awry is one of those answers as well. Rhymeister was still trying to do exactly what he was talking about, like exactly what he's known for as well. He actually was moving around the map, managed to get the first kill onto Swift there in the mid lane. That looked good. Went down to the bottom lane, managed to pick up another one onto Radier. But from that point onwards, he just wasn't able to get in there, and it was just the Chiefs being able to play around exactly what this Sin roster wants to do every step of the way.
Exactly that. They tried to play their traditional Sin style League of Legends. Yes, they could have tightened it up a lot more, and I thought that by doing that, Sin would have been more decisive. They would have been able to take the game to the Chiefs, but Chiefs in the end just played a lot better than Sin. They were able to completely tear apart the win condition that Sin set up for themselves, which is getting their mid laner ahead, and their team composition was fantastic to work around it.
Yeah, it certainly did look to be the case. So with that, the Chiefs do take 2nd seed. Now let's talk a little bit about what that means for Sin. They will be heading into a tiebreaker match against the Direwolves. We did have a coin flip just moments ago, guys. It was Sin that won the coin flip for side advantage, and they have chosen red side. So it is going to be a best-of-1 game. Direwolves versus Sin, Sin on side red. But I want to talk about mentality for a little bit, because Sin is a fiery, emotional team, and that must be a hard loss to take. Now going up against Direwolves, a very erratic team, is this a team that we think can bounce back? And if so, who are we looking at?
Yes. I think Sin can definitely bounce back in this series. Sin have shown a lot of resilience, especially through how much they decided to practice in the off-season. We're looking at this team thinking they're used to losing. They played the whole last split of the OPL not picking up too many victories. The early stages of this one as well looking rather similar, but they only gained in strength from that point. So after this loss, they'll go back, they'll look at it, they'll identify what went wrong, and they'll be able to take it to the Direwolves. A very different team to the Chiefs.
And emotions can work in one of two ways. One, they can pull you down, you're not able to play at your top level. Or two, you can use them in your advantage. And I think Sin, this is a double-edged sword for them coming into this game. Yes, they have to win to dodge the... Sorry, it's killing two birds with one stone, I think is the right phrase for this. Yes, they have to win to try and dodge Legacy in the semifinals, which I think any team would want to do. But at the same time, if they pick up this victory, they get a rematch against Chiefs in the semifinals. And I think they would be hungry to take them on in the semifinals again.
Yeah, it certainly would be the case. And looking at Direwolves a little bit here, this is a team that we have said is erratic. I even said today that if the Direwolves play good League of Legends, they are probably one of the, if not the best team in the league when they're on point, but also do look like the fourth place team when they play poor League of Legends. How is this going to be for the Direwolves? As a best of one, it's going to be a very hard series for them to execute on.
I actually really like that you look at the fact that the Direwolves have these very different times on Summoner's Rift as we see them. I like to think of them as a slow-moving sine graph, where honestly it feels like they're just doing this across the season. Started off quite strongly, had this dip that we've experienced over the last few weeks, but their last match that we saw yesterday, of course, versus the Hellions, that was the Direwolves unleashed. And if they can play that style against Sin tonight, I don't see how Sin can do anything.
Direwolves and Sin, to me, feel like they're complete opposites. Direwolves start off the split strong and then finish in very poorly, dropping games left, right, and center. Sin, on the other hand, start off the split very badly and then ended off really, really well, except for that last game against Chiefs. They've looked completely on form coming into the OPL, and this match is really going to decide which team is going to show up. Is it going to be early split Direwolves or late split Sin?
The thing that I want to bring up here as well is you sort of point out the fact that these are both opposite sides. But if you have a look at how they play on the Rift, they're basically the same beast. You've got Rymeister there in the mid lane, you've got Fantix there up against him as well, and the Direwolves do like to play around their mid laner, but there's also this massive scrappiness, and we're looking at Raze in the bottom lane, this guy that's really stepped up for the side, and I'm wondering whether that's going to be the discrepancy because Cardred, passive player, Raze, another one of these really aggressive ones.
Well, we will get to find out, guys, because after the break, we have our tiebreaker between Direwolves and Sin. Do not go anywhere.